Hello team, welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video with myself, Jonathan MSP. This is Ukraine War breaking news update for the 21st of August 2024. There's a couple of things I want to talk to you about that have just come out this afternoon, my time. And I also want to do a corrective to something I said this morning or reported on this morning. The corrective is concerning the strikes that took place on Ukraine from Russia last night. So there were, as I reported, 72 objects fired by Russia into Ukraine, of which 69 of them appeared to be Shahed drones and 50 were shot down. And I said, 50 shot down, that's not a very great interception rate. That leaves 19 to have struck in Ukraine. But I didn't hear much. There was no information about the destruction caused by those 19 drones and the targets that they probably hit. Well, someone pointed out, and that actually I should have thought about this because this has been happening an awful lot recently, is that electronic warfare is being responsible for bringing down a lot more drones, but they're not included in the interception rates. So the interception rates are shoot downs. So when usually a mobile anti-aircraft or mobile air defense system is driving around and taking out these drones. Usually the drones are taken out by these mobile crews rather than air defense, interceptors from air defense missile systems. So the interception rates are those, but that means that when there are some that aren't shot down by those teams, then electronic warfare can play a part. And the news has come out that 69 attack drones were launched by Russia. Of the 19 not shot down, 16 were stopped by electronic warfare or went wrong and crashed, while another went off to attack Belarus instead. In other words, that leaves only 2 drones that were not taken out and possibly hit their target, or probably hit their target. So that's a very different picture. Now, we're still depending on the accuracy of the Ukrainian claims here, so take it with a pinch of salt. But of the 69 drones that were sent into Ukraine, 67 of them were not successful. That's how you need to look at it. Only 2, it appears, were successful. So that's super important to understand. 2 Iskander ballistic missiles were not stopped, so one of them was stopped. Anyway, let's go on to the breaking news. And breaking news is actually not concerning anything that's happened just right now, but news that's coming out of something that happened recently. Now, if you remember back on August the 14th, I don't know if you do, there are a number of air bases that were targeted, and one of them that was targeted was the Savazleka air base in Russia. And I showed you this video of an explosion taking place there, where it seemed something was here, and then we had a couple of days of working out exactly exactly what was hit at these bases. And there were various claims of ammunition dumps and lubricant storage silos and so on and so forth, but not too many planes were damaged or destroyed. And then a couple of satellite images came out of like, okay, 1 was destroyed here, okay, possibly 2 was destroyed here, different air bases and whatnot. Well, actually, it turns out that apparently the Ukrainians have targeted that same airbase, but they've done it supposedly on the quiet since then. So no proof, says Tim White. So there's your caveat. There is no yet categorical proof of this, but Ukrainian intelligence says it made a second attack on Savazleka airbase in 48 hours. The previously unknown raid on the Nizhny Novgorod, or the previously actually known raid, unknown raid came after the one below that we've just looked at. Ukraine claims a MiG-31 and 2 Il-76 planes were destroyed and about 5 other aircraft damaged. That is massive, right? That is significant effects. So Kyiv Independent says Ukraine's attack on Savazleka airbase in Russia's Nizhny Novgorod Oblast on August the 16th, so 2 days after that other one, destroyed 3 planes and damaged around 5 others according to a military intelligence source. reporting today. Russian warplanes based at the Sevastopolka airfield include MiG-31K aircraft, the carrier of the Kinzhal ballistic missile that Russia uses to attack Ukraine. According to the source, the kamikaze drones operated by Ukraine's military intelligence destroyed a MiG-31K and two Il-76 aircraft. So they are those big cargo aircraft. Remember the Il-76 that was taken down north of the border? That caused lots of uproar because the Russians claimed it had a shed load of Ukrainian prisoners of war on board. So that's an Il-76. It didn't. And it damaged about 5 other aircraft, possibly including one more MiG-31K I. The previous strike on the Sevastopolka airbase carried out by the HUR on night of the 13th to 14th hit a Russian fuel and lubricants warehouse, that's what it's saying, and damaged a MiG-31K I plane, the source told the Kyiv Independent. So that's potentially 3 MiG-31Ks taken out, or one destroyed, 2 damaged. Don't know how badly. But possibly 3 of them taken out. And then it sounds like those other planes were not obviously MiG-31. So you could be, for example, 4 further Il-76s on top of the 2 here, or 4 other aircraft on top of those Il-76s. Explosions were also reported at the Borisovsk and Baltimore air bases, if you remember, in Voronezh Oblast, overnight on the 14th. Ukraine's general staff confirmed the attack, saying that Su-34 fighter bombers, Su-35 fighters, and other aircraft were based at the 3 said airfields. 11 MiG-31K I aircraft and Il-76, 5 Mi-8 and Mi-24 helicopters were stationed at Sevastopolka at the time of the strike, the source said. So it could be that those 5 aircraft that were damaged, the source says one was a MiG-31K, or could have been. So the other 4 are going to be Il-76 or Mi-8, Mi-24 helicopters, some combination of those. Citing the agency's satellite images, the Kyiv Independent could not verify these claims. Ukraine has carried out a number of strikes against air bases in an effort to weaken the more powerful Russian Air Force. An attack against an airbase in Donetsk Oblast on August 9th destroyed more than 700 bombs, a Ukrainian intelligence source told the Kyiv Independent. So there's definitely this concerted effort to try and hit these airfields. The problem, as I've always said, is just the sheer number of drones that they're using. In order to overcome those air defenses, you need to be sending, say, 100 drones at a single airbase to make sure you do maximal damage. They did learn from previously. Apparently, they attacked another airbase some time back, and only 2 drones got through and fell on the footprint of the base, basically, and the rest of them were shot, I think, outside. And that was something like, I can't remember now, but I think they'd sent something like 40 or 30 odd drones at that airbase, but they were stopped with predominantly, I think, electronic warfare. So it's about learning from that, getting around those problems, sending the drones again, and that's what they did with these strikes, and they were far more successful. But still, you want to be improving your efficiency of drone use and making sure that you are producing countermeasures to the countermeasures, if you like, for your drones to get through. Now, speaking of drones striking at air bases, last night, so this is my second bit of breaking news, and this has been happening today, and it's quite often a case of drones striking in the daytime because it takes all night essentially to travel the distances. So they send them up at night so they're not struck down by air defenses that are close to the Ukraine, get through all of those ones, and then they're kind of in the open and able to get to their eventual target, and then possibly get brought down at their target because there are then air defenses around the target area. So this is going from Murmansk. Remember, we saw a strategic bomber that was hit at the Elenia airbase up here previously, and it looks like drones have been aiming at this airbase or somewhere near there again. So meanwhile, Ukrainian drones, says Ilya Ponomarenko, are attacking a strategic airfield in Russia's Murmansk region. Yes, the one that lies beyond the Arctic Circle. That's some 2,000 kilometers away from Ukraine. So really long distance. What's been happening? Well, today we have been seeing these drones come in. Here is one that is taken out by small arms fire by all accounts. So next to reports, drones have been attacking the Murmansk region of the Russian Federation. Again, again, we are hearing that drones are attacking without having known they are attacking. So for the fourth day in a row is the claim from Nexter. Now, if they've been attacking for the fourth day in a row, we have been unaware of the previous 3 days, which then is rather similar to what we've just been finding out about the strike on Sevastopol air base, where it was struck. Okay, there was some imagery that came out of that, and then 2 days later it struck again, even more seriously, but we don't have any information on that. Here we're being told, and again, pinch of salt, but it's been attacked for the fourth day in a row. Well, we've heard nothing about those previous 3 days. Workers of local enterprises were evacuated because of the drone attack. Airports at Murmansk and Apatiti do not accept and do not release airplanes. Airspace restrictions have been introduced. So these are those light planes that have been turned into effectively kamikaze drones. No report says a video reportedly shows a Ukrainian drone near the closed military settlement of Vysoky. The drone approached from the south, initially flying at an altitude of 1,300 meters, then descended to 900 meters before being lost. Drones have been attacking the Murmansk region for the 4 consecutive days, leading to multiple evacuations of workers from the ANOF3 plant and the eastern mine. So I think that is significant. Now, they may not have done any damage to that, but Ukraine is going to be learning all the time. Like I said earlier, they learn and go again. So the next time they go, are there going to be improvements? Or have they actually had some successes that we just know nothing about yet? If we don't know that they are attacking these places, you won't have open source intelligence sources scouring satellite imagery to look for damage. Right, so we knew that this base was initially attacked on the 13th and 14th because that video came out, and as soon as a local releases a video, then the OSINT community then starts looking at satellite imagery to say, oh, hello, right, let's go and look at that we can geolocate that's at this air base because this person released it and mentioned this name, or I can geolocate it from these landmarks. Okay, then let's look at the airbase for satellite imagery before the attack and see if there are any planes on the runway, and look at the imagery after the attack, see if we can see any damage or scorch marks where there might have been previously an aircraft. Okay, and then we can say, do some battle damage assessment and say, right, the Russians lost 2 aircraft. But if you're not getting that initial video, it happens at 4 a.m, everyone's asleep, or no one just manages to catch it, or there's a bit of OPSEC from the Russians, then we don't know about that, and no one's searching the satellite imagery. So it then is incumbent upon the Ukrainian intelligence, if they want us to know. And I suppose something like this is a good PR win for them, but sometimes they might not be letting us know. So there could be an awful lot of other things that happen beyond our ken, really. So here they are saying, by the way, we did this. We've now looked at the satellite imagery, so it might take a few days for the satellites to start passing over those same places and say, right, we've looked at satellite imagery and we know that 2 planes were destroyed and possibly 5 damaged. And that's what we're telling you. Now, then what you're going to do is get the OSINT community scrabbling around, trying to get backdated satellite imagery for the in this case Sevastopol air base, and maybe looking at the Murmansk area over a 4-day period. It depends whether the satellite images are going to cost money to get, and if you want better resolution, you have to pay more money for them. Is it a risk if you don't know that something's definitely been hit? So there are all these considerations as to whether we eventually find out about this information or not. Anyway, those are my just rambling thoughts about these 2 events. I just think this is important enough to have a separate conversation about, aside from tomorrow's hits and losses videos, where I'll probably feature these. Let me know what you think, whether you think these are accurate claims, and whether you think this is a success for the Ukrainians, and what this means going forward for them. Anyway, thanks. Take care. Speak soon.